I appreciate you guys being here. Let me get the camera going. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I appreciate you guys being here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys. Once again, let me get everybody checked in, and we will do our thing right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I thought they said that Coach Kalen DeBoer couldn't recruit, right? Give me 1 second. I need to lower this and then we'll get started. 1 second. I thought they said Coach Kalen DeBoer couldn't recruit. That was kind of the message that I wanted to start out with today. You know, it's like people were saying that he couldn't recruit, that Coach Kalen DeBoer just didn't have it in terms of what he was going to do in terms of recruiting the Southeast. So I want to kind of dive into that because yesterday, once again, Alabama had another big time commitment. Let me see. And Michael Carroll. Can you guys see me okay? Can you guys hear me? Am I coming into you? Clear? All right. All right, so welcome on into Bama Football on YouTube. My name is Kyle Henderson. Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Definitely hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Give me an audio check if you guys can hear me okay. I appreciate you guys once again being here. Yesterday, all right, big time news as Alabama lands Michael Carroll. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about recruiting in terms of what Coach Kalen DeBoer has been able to do for the Alabama Crimson Tide, which has really been phenomenal. It's been amazing. We are going to talk about who's next to commit on this show. What are other prospects? And I want to hear from you as we get going. What other prospects do you think are going to be next to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide? We're going to talk about some running back targets that Alabama is certainly looking in at adding down the road. I mean, of course, you have Turbo Anthony Rogers who's committed, but who else could Alabama be taking in as well? And did you guys, and then also on the back end, I saw the Roll Tide Willie. He was with Kevin Hart, and the guy's everywhere. So that was kind of floating around. But I appreciate you guys being here. Take a minute, take a pause, hit the thumbs up. And from time to time, like, I have my, you guys know I operate super early in the morning, so I have my coffee. So I will take like a coffee break. I'll step aside. This is my backdrop, Bryant-Denny Stadium, but I need my coffee hot. And I also, I haven't, because when I was rapping with you guys, I haven't had a Red Bull in I think 2 months. And remember, I was like, so this is kind of like my water that I've been going with. But you guys were like, cut the Red Bull. So I listened. And I kind of just went cold turkey on it. All right, so welcome on in. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. I thought that they said Coach Kalen DeBoer could not recruit. That was one of the biggest things after replacing such an icon like Coach Saban, right? How is he going to continue the lineage of recruiting at the highest level when he got to Alabama, considering he's not from the Southeast? And someone pointed out yesterday in the comment box, they were like, did you know that Washington did not have one 5-star on their roster? I thought that was like really impressive. I hadn't dove into those numbers, but really that was something that stood out to me 100%. So when you look to what Coach Kalen DeBoer has done, it's really been impressive from January until now because he's had to go through many different facets of his early coaching career in terms of working the transfer portal, saving the roster, now building on to class of 2025, building on to class of 2026. And the best thing that he's done about it is he's built this staff around him, and the staff has been lights out in terms of how they have recruited, their message, their overall new energy, this new wave. And yesterday I talked about Mo Lindquist, but let's talk about Courtney Morgan real quick. All right, so Courtney Morgan is the general manager here at the University of Alabama. And his role is to not only facilitate the roster at Alabama, like the players that are physically here, but also build out the players that are coming into Alabama. He's a very relatable person, got a really big personality, and I think he is a huge asset. So Coach Kalen DeBoer, look, everybody always talked about Coach Saban playing chess, which he did throughout his whole career, but maybe Coach Kalen DeBoer is playing chess as well. So don't assume that just because he is nice, he doesn't have what it takes to absolutely cook. And we always say that Coach Kalen DeBoer is cooking. That's what he's absolutely been doing. And I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you. Ricky Smith is saying coffee is great, but my feet are cold. Warm them up, man. Warm them up. Oh, you know what we always do too? We need a calorie burned count off when we start in the mornings, because I know you guys are like, it's early and I get it, but wake up, get going. So burn calories. Let me get the Apple Watch. I'm at 522 right now. So, and look, I had this crazy workout on Saturday, and I think I'm still kind of tired from it. But I'm glad that I've went these last 2 days. In fact, for 6 weeks in a row, I have gone every single day to my workout. We work out every single day, besides Sunday, of course. What's up? I see everybody inside the comment box. If I move in close, that means I'm reading comments because my phone is a little bit away. Todd, I appreciate you being here. Ricky Smith, Mr. Beast 205. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here. I got the USA hat on today. I'm a patriotic person. I have a flag outside my front. I love it. I got the undefeated gear on. You can get the merchandise below. I don't eat enough calories to keep, it's all good, man. All right, so talked about Courtney Morgan and kind of the importance that he plays, and kind of Coach Kalen DeBoer and his overall philosophies. I'm going to talk about where Alabama is right now after Michael Carroll. I'm definitely going to talk about Michael Carroll, but I wanted to talk about kind of the cover photo, which is Na'eem Offord, who's the #1 player in the state of Alabama. And what's interesting about him is his photos that he released from his official visit with Ryan Williams and Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. Like, those are guys from Alabama that are actively recruiting for Alabama to bring on the #1 prospect in Alabama to flip him from Ohio State. Let me ask you real quick. Do you think that Na'eem Offord will end up flipping to Alabama? Type yes or Y if you do inside the comment box. I'm going to type Y as well. And I'm going to tell you what. I think that Ryan Williams, like, this is the full court press. I'm telling you. You got Ryan. These are some heavy hitters, okay? Ryan Williams, all right, in-state prospect who knows and understands Coach Kalen DeBoer's philosophy. Even though he's on the offensive side of the ball, who better to get you prepared for the ultimate next level or for just college football Saturday than somebody who's going to be in the NFL, Ryan Williams, right? You also have Courtney Morgan. And you also have Mo Linguist. We talked about him yesterday. You have Colin Hitchler. You have King Womack, right? These guys understand what it takes. You have Freddie Roach. So these guys on the defensive side of the ball know what it takes to get you where you need to go, which is the NFL, right? And get you ready for college football Saturday, of course. And Alabama is not broke, so he's going to get taken care of in that aspect. But I think long term, I think it's really, really warming up for, and I know it's like the cold summer, but it's like things are cooling down for Alabama in terms of this cold summer, because that's what they meant. They meant that you're about to see something that is ice cold. And this is this recruiting staff that is putting together a fantastic plan. One of my favorite clips, and I talked about this yesterday, was the guy smoking the victory cigars in terms of like enjoying life and enjoying like the celebration, because people thought that Alabama was done. Once Coach Saban left, they thought this was done. They were going to raid house. I saw yesterday there was a reporter doing an interview talking like anybody could recruit at Alabama. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think that anybody could just waltz in and recruit at Alabama. I really don't. And here's why. I feel that even though the foundation is set, recruiting is about what? Relationships and treating people with respect. What is the thing we always talk about with Coach Kalen DeBoer is that he comes off as a very genuine person. You read your recruiting articles, you listen to interviews. He's literally a genuine person. So recruiting is about relationships, because a lot of time, yes, it's the prospect who makes the ultimate decision, but these guys are 16, 17 years old, and you know who's also helping them make the decision is the people in their support group, right? Their coaches, right? Their parents, right? Maybe they have a handler, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The thing is, it's about relationships and about buying into the process. So I don't believe that anybody could have just came in here and recruited as Coach Kalen DeBoer is doing. I think what you're seeing right now is something that is very special. So yesterday, you get Michael Carroll on board. We'll talk about him in just a second. Let's talk about the recruiting rankings, because I'm starting to kind of dive into the recruiting rankings. It's kind of been perking up my ears now. So Alabama is, and I went through 24/7, I went through On3, and I went through Rivals. So they are number 5 in the country on the On3 recruiting rankings with 11 4-stars, and that's on On3, all right? So Notre Dame has more 4-stars, and they have 13, but Alabama now has 11 4-stars. They're actually number 4 on Rivals. You know, I love Rivals. I was a part of Rivals for, I don't know, like 14 years or something like that. Watch, check this out. So I have a couple plaques. I have, you know, my 100,000 play button, but the only other plaque that I have, I'll show you guys, is this plaque right here. So I have this plaque, and this is for when I worked with Rivals. This is crazy. So this says this is in 2007, okay, and it's for when I got 100 subscriptions, not for YouTube, like selling on the editorial side, and it's signed. This is crazy. It's signed by Shannon Terry, who was the CEO at the time of Rivals, and by Bobby Burton. And that's the only, so I have that, and then I have my YouTube play button, and I have those each hanging up, along with my degree from New Mexico State University. But like I'm telling you this because like it, the I have great respect for Rivals. So to see where Alabama is in terms of Rivals, they're number 4 in Rivals and number 3 on 24/7. So 24/7 has them number 3, Rivals has them number 4, and On3 has them number 5. Point is, Alabama certainly moving in the right trajectory on the recruiting front, which is really I'm not surprised to see it, but I just think that right now, out of all the schools recruiting, it seems like, look, USC has been doing a damn good job. Clemson has been doing a really good job, and I know a lot of people talking about Dabo, but Alabama, like I even saw Josh Pate recently, right? He tweeted like I've been talking about Alabama recruiting, and I don't think that Pate is I think he's done a really good job building up his brand to talk college football. I think sometimes people try to shape him into like an Alabama like homer. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think he's been able to broadcast his message in terms of college football, but Alabama is hot. Everybody is talking about Alabama football right now. And the hoodies for sure. Yeah, so there's a merch link inside the comment box for different type of merch, and I'll continue to update that as we go forward. I appreciate you guys being here. The highest rated recruit is Daryl Johnson out of Georgia, and they are number 2 in the SEC in terms of recruiting behind LSU. You know what? LSU's been doing a good job too under Brian Kelly. I cannot wait for Alabama to go to Baton Rouge for that game later on in the season. It's just, when we talk about this, and this show will be more geared towards recruiting, but the back end of Alabama's schedule is going to really show us about this coaching staff, because there's many phases to a coaching staff during each year, right? There's the recruiting, there's the development, there's the plan in place, and then there's the front end of the season, there's the back end of the season, there's preparation for players hitting the transfer portal for your recruiting, and then you're gearing up for the playoffs. And I mean, it doesn't stop. So your recruiting staff has to be on the field. Like, coaching does not stop, right? It's amazing. Where did I get this hat from? I ordered this hat. So I saw this hat on Instagram, and I had to have this hat. Like, I don't even know what brand it is, but I'll put the info in the description box for the hat, because it's one of like I have several different hats that you guys will see me wear, but I love the American flag look. Usually I wear a black one. I like that one is from outsider.com, which is a sister company of On3. I believe Jay Cutler owns that company. I like the way that hat looks and when I flip it backwards, but this one I like it flipped forwards. It's a USA, it's just all white. I like it. All right, let's talk about the impact of Michael Carroll. All right, so look, take a pause. Thumbs up on this video if you were elated, excited to see Michael Carroll jump on board. Look, he was predicted by the big-time guys in the recruiting world, right? Steve Whitfong, Fong bombed him or whatever they say. And people were like, okay, Michael Carroll coming to Alabama, that's big time. This is a 6'6", 4-star, 310 pounds out of Pennsylvania. Now, he is a Penn State legacy. His father played at Penn State. His mother played at Michigan State. Like, this guy brings a lot to the table. And you know what I think about when I think about Michael Carroll is the fact that Michael Carroll had a photo, I don't know, you guys see this? Remember this? It was about a month ago. And he was standing next to Landon Dickerson, okay? Landon Dickerson is a big man. Someone post inside the comment box, I'm standing. What is Landon Dickerson currently at right now? And you know who he plays for? He plays for the Eagles. Landon Dickerson is not a small man. He's standing next to Landon Dickerson, and he's bigger than Landon. How old is Michael Carroll? Is he 17? Is he even 18 years old? He might be bigger than, he was honestly bigger than Landon. Okay, about 6'4", 320. Okay, yeah. So Michael Carroll about 6'6". You know, he looked a little bit more trim than Landon, I would say. Okay, so someone's saying Landon is 6'6", 3. Yeah, I don't know. But you saw the picture I'm talking about. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I think Rock Montgomery is going to be a surprise this year. I think so too, Ricky Smith. There was a time that Rock Montgomery, in his profile photo on Twitter, had him snapping the football. I don't know if he's going to be like, what if he becomes like this, you know, sleeper center somehow? We'll talk team another time. I appreciate you guys being here. The impact of Michael Carroll is really big for several different reasons. Number one, Alabama certainly needed to add an offensive lineman. He's their first offensive lineman in the class of 2025. He's out of Pennsylvania, which is a football-rich state. When you talk about states sending out high school football talent, Pennsylvania always mentioned, kind of thought of as like a quarterback, or at least at one point, you know, the guys that are sent out are like quarterback type guys, but Pennsylvania, so does Ohio, right? But I think overall it continues to show me Coach Kalen DeBoer is going across the country. He's going, there's not just like his certain recruiting pipelines, although California kind of becoming like a pipeline. And there's a prospect that we're going to talk about later on, which is Jackson Lloyd, who is another offensive lineman out of California that I think Alabama is certainly targeting. Todd, I appreciate the heads up on that, man. Thank you so much. So Michael Carroll coming in from Pennsylvania. Again, his father, a Penn State legacy. I think he was, you know, actively being recruited by Georgia as well. So I don't know if it's, you know, a win versus Georgia, whatever, but I think it is certainly a win for Alabama in terms of getting a quality lineman, another 4-star. He's the 11th 4-star to this class of 2025, and it starts to show you the type of offensive linemen that are going to be protecting your quarterback, Keelan Russell. I mean, you start to look at, let's look at the last 3 prospects that have committed to Alabama. Keelan Russell, baller, right, quarterback, out of Texas. You have Chuck McDonald, baller out of Mater Dei, out in California. And then you just have Michael Carroll out of Pennsylvania. So we went from California to Texas to Pennsylvania, right? He's going across the country, scouring for talent, and he's bringing them in to Alabama. So huge addition for the class of 2025. Everybody's talking about it. Let me ask you right now, who do you think is going to be next to commit? Because we're going to talk about who is next to commit. So I want to hear from you inside the comment box right now, where I drink coffee or a coffee sip. Who do you think will be next to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide? Okay. Next topic. Who is next? And I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Today is Tuesday, and I hope you guys are off to a really good start. Got the workout in, feeling good. Got the hoodie on, got the USA cap on, feeling great. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so 3 prospects. Let's talk about who could be next. And Dejon Lee, that would be okay. If you want to break the internet, go ahead and have him commit. And I think he will at some point in time to Alabama. Man, now you got me off track. Okay, Michael, look, Dejon Lee, Chuck McDonald, Ivan Taylor flips, Na'eem Offord flips, right? Think about your secondary. Daryl Johnson back there. I mean, that is an incredible secondary that they could be. Okay, so Brandon, ding, 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 ding. What's up, man? I appreciate you. Waldrop just hit up Hayes Fawcett and said 6 p.m. with his eyes. I think Ma Waldrop will be next to commit. So turn on your notifications and get ready for a potential commitment tonight at 6 p.m. Ma Waldrop out of Phoenix City, Alabama, 6'5", 325 pounds, would be another welcome addition to Alabama. I saw on 3 that he is a 3-star. So stay tuned, as that could be the next commit. And I think even there were some other prospects on Alabama that said, we're not done, and another one coming in soon. So I think that, oh God, could you imagine if Ty Haywood comes in? Ty Haywood, Offord, man, that would really get the party started. Larry Large, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here inside the comment box. Oh, by the way, if you want to support the YouTube channel, support me, hit the hyperlink above, $2.99 per month to support the YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys. This is what I do for a full-time basis, so thank you very much for supporting me. Thank you so much right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Okay, so I think Mal Waldrop. Okay, before we go to our next 2 prospects, do we all agree that Mal Waldrop will commit to Alabama? Thumbs up if you think that Waldrop, A, commits tonight and commits to Alabama. Sound off inside the comment box. All right, so we got Mal Waldrop, and we're talking who's next to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide. All right, okay. Let's say Jason is saying, hey, Kyle, just a question from my understanding the 24/7 composite that Duke Johnson as a 5-star. You know, that's a good question. I personally follow, and I've said this many times, I'm not paid by On3 24/7 Rivals. I literally follow On3 because I like the way that their interface looks to me. So, you know, I guess they theoretically you could say that they have a 5-star. I mean, he is their highest rated player on 3. But I don't know if he's like a consensus 5-star. Good question though. Let's talk about it inside the community tab or underneath this video after the show. I appreciate you. Ricky Smith, what's up, man? I appreciate you. Don't worry, man. We appreciate you being here. Looks like we might have an opportunity to wrap tonight as well at 6 p.m. as Mal Waldrop is announcing at 6 p.m. I appreciate the update on that as well, Matthew. Okay, so another prospect that I think could commit next, and I think we're all waiting. It's just a matter of time. And I haven't even seen a date when he is going to announce, but that is Dawson Merritt. Dawson Merritt, 6'3", linebacker who's a 4-star out of Kansas. Let me ask you, would you say, I mean, this seems like a lock. Is Dawson Merritt, give me a thumbs up. You think Dawson Merritt will commit to Alabama? All right, Jamie Bird is saying, Kyle, there's a couple players already committed that will be 5-stars before the year's end. I agree with you. I think, you know, let's talk on 3, right? And I have no idea like who they're going to rank, but I would imagine that Keelan Russell could get pretty damn close to being a 5-star. And I think that Daryl Johnson, he's a 5-star on 24/7. I think he could be a 5-star on 3 as well. Jamie is saying, Kyle, do you think we'll have too many quarterbacks for next year? No, I don't. I mean, you always need to take a quarterback within your recruiting class. You have Keelan Russell, you have Austin Mack, you have Dylan Lonergan, you have Ty Simpson next season, right? Because after this season, Jalen Miller will go to the NFL. So I think you're good in terms of the quarterbacks. And you always need a quarterback to come in. And I think landing Keelan Russell and flipping him from SMU, look, I've seen it out there. People are like, oh, wow, you're flipping prospects for SMU. SMU did a damn good job early on in the process of recruiting Keelan Russell. They did. Give them credit. Give their coaching staff credit for being able to see a quarterback that had this type of talent. And how about, Michael Penix Jr. being in town in Tuscaloosa? They're bringing everybody, right? So I think that SMU just did a really good job. It's not about flipping prospects from anywhere. It's about getting a prospect here that has the intangibles to be Alabama's next quarterback down the road, right? And I don't think there's, after Milroe leaves, I mean, there's plenty of spots within the depth chart in terms of being the quarterback. But good question, though. I appreciate you. What are the chances that we flip Na'eem Offord, the #1 player out of Alabama? Good question. I think they're high. I don't know, there's a certain percentage, but I think the full court press from Alabama on Offord is certainly going to, has him leaving Alabama. And look, he's from Birmingham. He's from Parker. So when you are an in-state guy, you want to rep your city. You want to rep your state. And I think that's going to have a lot to do with it, honestly. And I think Ryan Williams, given the full court press, he's a hell of a recruiter. And I would say that Offord comes to Alabama. I mean, we're a long way off. I appreciate you guys. 130 on. Thank you so much for joining me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Okay, so Dawson Merritt, we feeling good about this, right? Dawson Merritt, at some point in time, feel he's going to commit. One more. Let's keep an eye on this. And how about Jackson Lloyd? 6'6", 290 pounds, out of California. He's a 4-star, another guy that could watch. How about you guys list another prospect that I haven't mentioned? I know Dejon Lee announces on June 28th, I believe. But who else could be a guy that you think will end up committing to Alabama, right? I appreciate you. Thank you, Jamie, so much. I appreciate you, and I hope you're off to a really good start on this fine Tuesday. And for those while you guys are putting more names inside the comment box that you think will commit to Alabama in the class of 2025, my schedule. So right now I'm rolling at 7:30 in the morning. Now during the season, based on when Alabama will practice or media availabilities, I will kind of have my schedule around that, or when breaking news happens. So just kind of stay updated and be sure and be notified for any type of videos. And look, when one of my videos is done, it's done. Like I've learned not to drag it out, the entire time. So, some of my, don't look at it as the time, look at it as the quality of the video. And I understand you have things to do, so do I. So I appreciate you guys understanding kind of the video content and how, I position the YouTube channel. So thank you so much. We're going to talk about a couple of running back prospects. I appreciate you guys being here. Buckeyes think they are in the lead for Lloyd. So, we are tracking that. What's up? Chris from New Jersey, man. Good morning. I see you inside the comment box. When I come in tight like this, that means I'm reading the comment box. My phone is like, more than an arm's reach away. Okay. So Dawson Merritt, Mal Waldrop. Okay, so set the reminders. Mal Waldrop announcement tonight at 6 p.m. Okay, 6 p.m. A couple of running back targets on the back end of the show. So you currently have Turbo Rogers. What a dope nickname for a running back, right? Anthony Turbo Rogers, who is at the IMG, now is back to Montgomery, and one of the fastest players that Alabama will have in the class of 2025 in terms of the running back position. But you also have Kalen DeBoer, who will be in town this coming weekend. He's the #1 running back in the country and currently committed to Ole Miss, okay? So he just recently posted Alabama's recruiting video. And again, this is Kalen DeBoer, and he's a big-time prospect, a running back target. And I think one of the coaches that we really haven't hyped up yet on the offensive side of the ball is Robert Gillespie. Look, Robert Gillespie, so there was 2 coaches that were retained under Coach Kalen DeBoer. One was Robert Gillespie, and one was Freddie Roach. And then, of course, the other 2 additions were David Ballou and Jeff Allen, right? Those are kind of the pillars here, kind of behind the scenes. I think that when you look to Robert Gillespie, man, how could you not like what he's been able to do in terms of developing running backs? Look, being a running back and getting into the NFL is slim. They don't take first-round picks often in the NFL because running back kind of a dime a dozen, and your lifespan is so short as a running back in the NFL, right? Look, he sent Jahmyr Gibbs, and a lot of that is on Jahmyr Gibbs because he's a natural athlete. But look at the running backs that he worked with in North Carolina, how he developed them, and then look at Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs came over. That was a perfect transition for him from the transfer portal. And I think if you're looking from the recruiting standpoint, Robert Gillespie has what it takes to get you to that next level. And I can imagine what Robert Gillespie does with the running back that he has on board right now. Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, Richard Young, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley. I mean, talk about an absolutely loaded running back room, all right? So Kalen DeBoer will be in town. He's the #1 running back in the country, currently committed to Ole Miss. Look, Ole Miss did their thing in the transfer portal. I think they're probably the #1 team in the transfer portal. Ohio State up there as well. But Lane Kiffin, he's also been cooking on the recruiting front as well. Really good recruiter. People buying into him. And we'll see. That team, man, that team is going to be this year, man. And if you look to Ole Miss's front-end schedule, pretty easy. The back end, a little bit more challenging. They do host Georgia in the back end, but when you start to kind of look to teams for that 1 and 2 spot in the SEC at the way back end of the season, I mean, Ole Miss certainly has a really good opportunity to get to the SEC championship this year, in my opinion. Plus, they returned Jackson Dart. They've added on, a lot of talent. I'm still kind of upset that Trey Amos went to Ole Miss. I felt that, I don't know. This is kind of off topic because now we're talking, a little bit of team, but you have Trey Amos or Deshaun Jones, right, from Wake Forest. Like, I like Trey Amos. I did. I'm just still perplexed on why he left. Another running back, Shakai Knight, out of Tennessee. He's only a 3-star, was recently in town. He's former teammates with Amari Jefferson. Amari Jefferson, as you know, one of the most talented wide receivers from the class of 2024 that is now enrolled at the University of Alabama. He was also on board this past week with that huge, weekend of recruiting. So right now, a lot of recruiting updates, and those are kind of the running backs that we're watching. Kalen DeBoer and Shakai Knight, and then, of course, Anthony Turbo Rogers. And I think he went up to Ohio State. I'm talking about Turbo. Went up to Ohio State. You got to go check it out. You got to take your visits. You got to see what other programs are. But I think, him being an in-state guy, and look, he never wavered. Once Coach Saban retired, he didn't decommit. Like, he's been here. So, I look forward to, seeing him this coming season because I think he's going to have a monster year. That is my recruiting segment for this morning. I appreciate you guys being here. As news happens, I'll be back, and I will always talk, recruiting, team, breaking news when it comes to Alabama Crimson Tide. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I agree, Todd. I think it was kind of it wasn't the right move for Amos, and I think things will probably work out for him because I think Ole Miss is going to be good. But I think that he would have, been an absolute day one starter this season for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So wanted to hit on the notes again. You can watch the rewatch. We talked about the fact that people said Coach Kalen DeBoer couldn't recruit. That's been proven wrong. We talk about the full court press on Na'eem Offord in this video, gave props to Courtney Morgan, who's been doing a great job. We talked about the fact that Alabama's number 3 in 24/7, number 4 in Rivals, and number 5 on 3. We talked about the impact of Michael Carroll being the first offensive lineman to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide, 6'6", 310, out of Pennsylvania. He's a Penn State legacy. We talked about who's next. Remember, keep notifications on. 6 p.m. Ma Waldrip tonight. Dawson Merritt is on the clock. Jackson Lloyd probably a little bit further out, and then Dejon Lee on June 28th. I think this cold summer is going to continue to get colder. Winter is coming. What is that from? That is your trivia. Winter is coming, and you know the show that I'm rewatching. And then running back targets, Akeland Deer, and then Shakai Knight, former teammate of Amari Jefferson. I hope you guys enjoyed this recruiting show. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful Tuesday. As news happens, I got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for believing in me. I love you guys, and I'll catch you with you soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Kyle, who did they say would be announcing? Oh, Ma Waldrip out of Phoenix City, Alabama. You got that, Matthew? Oh, if you guys want to follow me, Mr. Kyle Henderson on Instagram. And it's mostly like motivational, like workout type stuff. I'm like one of those like morning guys. So Game of Thrones, you got it, Chris from New Jersey. I appreciate you guys. One more time. Roll Tide, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. See you guys.